It's ridiculous.
I entered and won the McLaren F1
One class
event. One class. Crazy.
No, it's very special to see those cars. And look, let's be real. That was a very special occurrence. That doesn't happen every day in the UK. Like, you don't see 7 F1s all the time together.
Just see one.
One or two, yeah. You quite often see 1 or 2, but you'll never see sort of 7 like that. And yeah, look, I don't know really what to say. I mean, this is, I guess, the sort of the main downfall of events. I feel like Salon Privé is that you don't see them driving, and you don't see them moving around and sliding about or starting up. They just kind of sit there. So it's great to walk around with the champagne and kind of have a look and look at the details. But that's kind of all that you can do, really. So I like to see them at at events like Goodwood, where you actually see them and hear them, and you hear them warming up, and you smell them, and that adds a whole nother dynamic layer to talk about. But no, very cool. So
very cool. What's the next one you want to do?
Well, we've got those. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the CLK GTR while we're on the subject of kind of 90s GT1 cars and the stand that DK Engineering brought.
YouTube just decided to start streaming.
Welcome, YouTube. Hello. This is fun. Wonderful.
Thanks.
So,
did you have a picture of that in here that I need to find?
I do, yeah. It's down there somewhere. So, DK had a new Ford GT. They had a Carrera GT, a 288 GTO.
That was a crazy looking GT that was there too.
Yeah, that's a pretty new, like a limited one. They had obviously the CLK GTR. They had an F40. They had a Miura. They had a 250 LM, and they had a couple of other sort of 250 V12 type Ferraris. Yeah. And that's one of the trade stands. Like that, they were effectively a dealer exhibiting. So they're not that. Those cars weren't even part of the concourse. They weren't even entered in for anything. So
just out of control.
Yeah, the GTR is the CLK GTR is something else. Just the proportions up close and the way they've integrated kind of the hard points from the road car into what is quite obviously a GT1 car is, and this one has the uber cool plaid trim inside, and it's just the coolest thing in the world. It's amazing.
Oh, is that the one with the green tartan inside?
No, had like a blue and grey tartan
cool.
in this one, or a plaid. So yeah, it's I feel like they're a car that's kind of fallen off the radar a fair bit. You never even, I don't think I've even seen one before, come to think of it. I've seen the race cars at Goodwood, but
just so few of them, or
there's 25 of them. But yeah, I don't know. You just they must just all be sort of housed in private collections around the world and sort of never seeing the light of day, really. But it's very impressive to see up close. The way, a nice detail, I don't know, Luke, if there's a picture of the rear tail lights, but one thing we noticed is the way that they've molded the shut line from the boot of the CLK road car into the bumper of the GT1 car,
right?
Because the tail lights have a line through them where the boot close goes, so they've actually molded one. It's just quite a cool little detail how they've molded in this sort of shut line.
So it's just there.
Yeah, you can see that there. They've molded that in, the boot in without it, but it doesn't open. It's obviously a single piece. But
yeah, and the tail lights are still split, like the boot would open, and everything like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the adjustable little flap there, and actually, interestingly enough, it has the most heinous chrome exhaust trims. Like if you saw those on a road car, you'd.
But don't most Mercs? They've got pretty terrible chrome exhaust tips most of the time.
No, these have
or is
these
that
surrounds.
opening up a barrel?
Probably a barrel. I don't know. Actually, on exhaust tips, the exhaust tips on the Ferrari Roma are awful. They are heinous. They are just. Ugh. Anyway, we'll get back to that. We won't.
Terrible. I mean, I guess that leads on to like that further discussion about the whole like in place chrome in bumper tips that are not actually exhaust tips. Like when I was back selling HSVs back in the day, that was quite an often thing that a few of the guys were doing, was getting rid of those tips. And I actually putting in like proper exhaust through there.
Yeah.
It looks so much better. And just, I mean, it's probably not as good for heat management around a bumper and, being able to 100% control of it, but
it's fine.
Know. While we can still have exhausts, why not make them nice? Well, do you see California passed passed a new motion today?
2035. No more internal combustion. So
like complete ban.
Yeah, to be fair, I welcome it. I don't think the internal combustion engine's going anywhere anytime soon from an enthusiast standpoint. I think it'll be around for all of our lifetimes. But I think for transport needs, bring it on. Like who needs polluting crappy Ford Focus 4-cylinder sort of? No, but you get my point. It's like, why not have something environmentally friendly for your just commuting, and then have something fun for your weekends and your track days? And,
you have your classic car and off you go, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even then, we'll get to the point where battery technology, if we keep going down electric battery route, is battery technology will keep doing what it's done in IT and mobile phones forever and get more powerful and smaller, smaller every year as technology develops, and it'll just make that case for those cars even better. So
no, exactly.
I welcome you, electric overlords.
So while we're talking of electric overlords,
what have you got?
I want to talk about the Aspark Owl, which was at Salon Privé. The Aspark Owl.
What is that?
Supercar, Japanese supercar made in Japan. Now they released it. I need to get my figures up. Yeah, it's a blue, very low, insanely low with a white leather interior.
I got lots of McLaren F1, F40.
So this was
yes. Oh yeah, that thing.
Yes. So this was one of the standouts.
What's the brand again?
Aspark, Aspark.
And it's Japanese.
And they had, So I'm not really a massive one. Most modern hypercars don't really do a lot for me. They had a lot of the Koenigsegg's and the Paganis there, and I don't know, they're just a bit wanky. But I saw this, and it looks insane. This is one, I don't know if you remember, 2018, 2017, it was kind of announced and it was splashed around Top Gear, and they had the renderings and some statistics that seemed otherworldly.
I don't remember much. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So they are claiming, I'm just looking here.
Yeah.
It's an electric hypercar.
Yeah.
1,985 brake horsepower EV hypercar. They're claiming 249 miles an hour top speed, 400 kilometers an hour. And 0 to 186 mile an hour, which is 300 kilometers an hour, in 10.6 seconds. 0 to 300 in 10.6 seconds.
Oh, that's crazy.
Violent. 64 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery with a range of 280 miles, blah, blah, blah. This is, one of the many hypercars that flashes on our news feeds and steals the limelight for a day or two and then fades into obscurity. And I had long forgotten about this.
Yeah.
But it is the prettiest thing in real life. It is so low and wide and long. And just the guard, it is just a beautiful car.
I mean, that's similar numbers to what the Lotus Evia's about, isn't it? That's like under 10, 0 to 300.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I'm no electric engineer, but I assume that, once the tech is available to do that, it's relatively simple to kind of put it into whatever package you like. I don't know. But anyway.
Make a Mac laptop. Make an iPhone.
True. But just anyway, I just thought it was a very well thought out, very pretty, very well built. The detailing was very finely considered. Look, if you've got a picture of the interior. Yeah. Now, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, wow, there's like
seats.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like sitting in a single seater. So for those on audio only, your bum is probably
where your feet usually sit is where your calves will be up in the air.
Up in the air. So your ass would be a good 300 mil, 200 mil lower than your calves. Yeah. It's a proper Formula One driving position with your legs sort of at your, what kind of torso height and the wheel popping back.
It'd be chest height.
Chest height.
Yeah, probably like just below your chest line.
Yeah. I just think that's the coolest thing in the world. That is just insane, isn't it?
Were you able to sit in it or not?
No, I should have asked.
You should have asked.
Yeah.
You should say, I'm from Sports Car Safari. I need to get in this car. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't you know who I am?
full Chad spec. I'll get Karen to come here and tell you who I am.
But no, that to me just and look, I don't know. I don't know much.
The
about
white's
it.
an interesting choice though. Like white,
I wouldn't
white and dark blue.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like very, very out there kind of horrible Maserati spec type thing.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't spec it in that scheme, but just the way it was built and the attention to detail and the quality of the thing and the way it was considered, I just think it actually brings something new to the table. Like that is a car that I actually go, that's pretty cool. So
I'm unbelievable if they can build it. Like that's phenomenal if they can do that. I like the light blue and gold. That looks sick.
It's just a very cool thing.
Like even the little details there, just behind the front fenders, like those little exhaust duct things. They're quite nice. Follow the line of the car, and they look like they're in carbon.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
It's Speaking of now, so while we're on
you want to sit that way if you're going that quick too, though. Like
it'd probably be disconcerting. To be fair, probably I don't know if it would be enjoyable to go that fast or not. I'd like to find out.
Yeah. Anyway, so you were saying, sorry.
The other one, I was going to say, the other one that's completely pointless while we're on the subject. I don't have a photo of it because I literally.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up on.
No. That's funny. We'll get to that in a minute.
Another one.
Another one.
Oh,
no.
Man.
The McLaren had the McLaren Elva. This is what I just say. I don't really care too much about modern hypercars. Like, I'm sure it's fun to drive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not fun, but just as something to look at and get excited about. McLaren Elva was there. No, that's their sort of.
Did they have that bright blue one?
No, it was black with white leather interior. The thing has no roof and has no windscreen.
Why would you have white with
nothing?
No roof.
Yeah.
Hope it's made out of like
pointless.
Made out of marine grade vinyl or something like that.
Vinyl. It looks like
vegan leather.
Vegan leather. Oh. Anyway, it was, and they had the new.
So I'll bring this up. I just googled, just having a look here. There's like this. Oh, this is great. Hang on, I'll bring it up. Hang on. This is because you want to see it too.
Okay.
Share application window. It's like a news article. Article from Singapore. McLaren Elva caught in rain shows perils of owning a roofless car.
It's just.
It looks pretty crazy, but yeah, like
I don't know,
dealing with that in the rain.
Like, okay, I will also say, for those on Instagram that follow, Power Slide Lover, he has made the case he has single-handedly, not that anyone really cared, but he's single-handedly changed my opinion of the Ferrari Monza SP2. I thought that was a similar, just stupid way of extracting money from rich people until I see the videos of him actually tearing around the Dolomites and that. Yeah. And I think, okay, that's insanely cool. So maybe, and look, if someone gave me the keys to an Elva and you could actually drive or ride in one, I'm sure it would be an incredible experience. I'm not saying that, but I just don't think we need it. I just don't think it's something has any use. And McLaren had the new 765 LT as well, which is their kind of track version of the 720S there.
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed you didn't spend some more time on it because I wanted to have a bit of a better look, but
I just don't care.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. I don't know. It's just very gaudy and lots of colors and slashes and what are you going to do with it? I don't know. But
Here's
it's pointless. It's pointless because there's another company there called Tour de Force, TDF1, and we're chatting to the guys, and it was really, really interesting. I'm sure a lot of listeners might have read about the TDF1, but basically, it's a program of taking sort of 2011, 2012 Formula One tubs. So they've started with Marussia tubs.
This guy's actually an Australian guy who's heading this up.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a guy who runs a. The reason why I know is because of IT World. He runs a distributor out of Sydney, I think, like a big IT distributor.
No. There's the guy in
Or is there another
New
one?
Zealand. There's the one in New Zealand called Roden. Roden are doing a similar thing, but they're using a bespoke. They're making basically a bespoke Formula One car that you can actually drive. These guys are.
Oh, are these the guys that do the restos and runnings of old F1 cars?
I think they do some.
Yeah.
So they've got this program where they're taking they've started when Marussia F1 went into insolvency, they bought the 3 tubs and all of the spares, and they've basically retrofitted a I think it's a Volkswagen. It's a 4-cylinder sorry, it's a Ford. It's a Ford EcoBoost. It's a Ford. No. It was as run in Formula. They were saying as run in Formula 2 in sort of 2008, 2009.
There you go.
Formula 2. And I think it's a Ford. It's a 4-cylinder Ford motor.
2011 or 2012 Sauber C31, and the engine is a TDFM. Well, it doesn't say.
Yeah,
1730cc turbocharged engine to 9,000, circa 600 brake horsepower.
So what they're saying is they've built this engine, which instead of needing to be rebuilt every 100 hours or give or take, it needs to be. You get 3,000 kilometers, which is a lot of track time in an open wheeler. Like that's a lot of work, and
it's a very sore neck amount of work.
It makes about the same power as the Formula 1 V10 made, give or take. It might be 100 down or something, but it's ballpark similar, and the torque characteristic is ballpark similar. So what they've done is they've taken all of these kind of 2012 F1 cars that are kind of useless because unless you have an F1 team, you can't run one as an enthusiast. And they've taken all the bits out that make it impossible to run, and they've replaced it with bits that you can actually run. So with a team of 2 or 3 people, you can go and do a track day. And they reckon that around Portimao, this thing on their second lap out in February in winter on old tires, they were 12 seconds a lap quicker than a P1 GTR.
Wow, so quick.
12 seconds.
If you're going to own a car that you can only drive on the track, not in a series or anything.
Yeah. So it's like, why would you have a 765 LT, which is still a really good road car, but is not great on the track because it's on road tires. It has rubber bushings in the suspension. It's heavy. It's not that. Wouldn't you just have a good road car and then go and buy like a TDF one and actually have something that's properly stupidly fast?
Especially if you don't have to maintain it. That'd be as much like that. That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. And that's kind of their point, that all these kind of track-ready supercars are still very compromised as racing cars and as track cars.
Yeah.
So why bother? And I think that's, Anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, the figures and the speeds that these modern cars are getting up to, trying to do that on the road is just crazy. Like, just madness. Yeah.
You just can't. That's why you see those dash cam videos of 720S's clipping cars on motorways and ending up. Anyway, but yeah, if we're talking about stupid things, I feel like we need to talk about the Engler. I didn't even know this.
How do you spell it? How do you spell the Engler?
ENGLER.
Oh.
So let me read. I found
ELGNER. ENGLER.
So I found a news story when I was doing some research, and I'm just going to read the title for you before we tell you what it is and show you the pictures.
Cool. Shmee has seen it. Hi, this is Shmee.
Horrifying. Slovakian super quad puts an 850 horsepower V10 motor in a quad bike. Horrifying being the first word.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Did you see the specs on it?
Yeah, it's insane.
read them out. Read them out.
So, there are supercars and superbikes. Why not a super quad? Slovakia's Victor Engler couldn't think of a good reason. 850 horsepower V10 monster, which he says tops out at a ludicrous 350 kilometers an hour. It's a 5.2 liter V10, probably from a Lamborghini Huracan. That only makes 610 odd horses, so it has twin superchargers and a titanium exhaust, 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds, with a top speed of 350 kilometers an hour. But here's the thing. It is a quad bike. So it has the riding position of like a 90s jet ski. You straddle it.
Handlebars from it too, by the looks of it.
Handlebars that are really wide. And you straddle it, and there's one person only, and you sit in the middle. It's the size of a car. But there's one.
Who was taking the video and had 2 people on it?
Oh, sorry, maybe
you can have a pillion.
Yeah, I saw it driving.
Sure. Yeah.
I saw it driving. You could have a pillion passenger, but it is just. It has this one had Audi R8 headlights, and it had the worst like dub wheels, and it was low, and it was bright yellow, and it was just.
How old was that news article you found?
March 2019.
Okay. The website has the latest spec for it.
Oh.
1,100 horsepower with 1,100 kilos. So 1-to-1 in a quad.
So let me just, I've got on my phone here. If for people on I apologize.
Oh, no, I can put it on Instagram. That's fine. I can screen share it, man.
I was going to, it is just like, I don't know. You can't even be mad. It's so bad. It is so bad.
How good was the turning circle? It looked horrid.
I know. You can't even be mad. Going through your we'll get on to, there you go. Zoom in on that bad boy.
Hey, I'll see if I can get the noise on too.
Oh, that was the noise from the TDF one, actually. So that's the noise.
Oh, that's the F1 car.
Yeah.
That's the TDF one. That looks...
But yeah, look at that. Just pause it. Can you pause it? That is just the most...
Let's go back again.
Heinous thing. There you go. Look at that.
Look at this dude laughing. Can you see him laughing?
Actually laughing.
That thing, hang on. Let's see if I can zoom in on him. Oh no, it's not increasing the video. This dude in there is like that dude facing us is having a proper giggle at that. He's like, you look like the biggest swat ever. Look at him. Oh my goodness.
It's but you know what I mean? It's just so bad. It's so bad that how can you hate it? Like, how can you hate something that is that much of a train wreck? I don't think you can. The
worst color to pick ever too.
So we just had a comment. How is that a quad bike? The reason is, well, technically it's got 4 wheels and it has motorcycle handlebars and motorcycle twist grip and, like gear changes on the foot. Like the controls are exactly like you would find in a quad bike. But it's the size of a car and it's
it's horrendous.
Look at those.
Imagine I feel like the person who would buy this would also park it in the motorcycle park spots.
Yeah.
Like take up 10 motorcycle parking spots early in the morning and just park their quad bike in there. What's a bike? What are you talking about?
It's just
have a look. Look, that's the latest specs.
1,100 horsepower, 350 kilometers an hour, 2.5. Gotta hand it. Anyone that actually does that on that, you're more of a man than I am. Like, good on you. But yeah, that's something special.
No, I'm gonna keep skipping that one. Is that unique?
Yeah.
After years of hard work, the vehicle is now a reality.
Falls into no known category. That is true. It does not fall into a known
Super
category.
quad.
Yeah.
Oh, what did Buzz just say?
We believe that soon other automotive manufacturers will join us and enrich the Super Quad family with their own creations.
Hey, where's that dude who built that like STI quad bike in New Zealand?
Yeah,
that
this
thing
is
was
kind of like that.
That thing was like NZ STI quad. Hopefully that's enough words to not bring up anything horrible. Yep. This thing, do you remember? I remember
that actually is a quad bike.
Well, yeah,
that actually is
the quad.
Yeah. Are they selling those things?
No, I think this guy's just about me. Oh, gallery. No, I think he's just Subzilla Gallery. I don't know what that is. Yes, look at that gravel rally wheels and everything.
Oh,
I remember when this thing came out and just frothing over it. Look at it.
If you got to have a go on that, how long would it be until you tipped it?
Oh, I would be like pancake for sure.
Yeah, I would not trust myself to have.
Oh, it's got Lenzo wheels as well. I forgot about that. Look at them. Look at it.
Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, look, I don't want to hate on people. The world's a better, funnier place with hilarious, insane 350-kilometer-an-hour quad bikes. Bring it on. But
yeah, but this is the thing that you'll be able to tell. This is what was the crazy electric scooter thing? Was it the Sinclair something?
Sinclair C5.
Yeah, Sinclair C5. You'll be able to. This is one of those moments in life where it presents itself very rarely, where you'll be able to say to your kids, I was there when that thing was launched at Salon Privé. And it'll be like, what is that thing? Nobody will know what it is. And then there'll be some like retro, whatever the next version of Instagram is, there'll be some like 2020 retro page or something in like, you know, the late 2000s somewhere. And it'll be like, look at this retro stuff. Oh, these crazy people. I can't believe they built that. With fossil fuel in it? Are you kidding me?
The thing with the Sinclair C5, which I think that they
actually gotten a photo on it. You should have gotten a photo.
I should have. I really should.
It's just again one of these times. Imagine if your dad came to you now and said, "Look at, I got a photo on the Sinclair C5." You'd be like, "Whoa, you're the coolest."
The thing with the C5 is that was just about 30 years ahead of its time. Like that solved a question that kind of is being asked today. Like the Sinclair C5 is actually a really brilliant piece of design that answered a really good question that society needs. Like, how do you get around cities in environmentally friendly, fast, easy ways with not being on a bicycle? You know, I don't know what question this answers. I don't think anyone's ever. I don't get it. Anyway, whatever.
How did you see the turning circle on it though? Like when it was there,
it was not nice.
It was. Whose Instagram page was that on? I think it was on Duke's. Maybe. Yeah. But that was like trying to get into a spot, and it was like watching Austin Powers getting stuck in the side of the thing where he's just like trying to get around. Yeah. Can you imagine trying to park that thing or get around a hairpin, like trying to get around a tight 90-degree left-hand turn inside London or something?
Imagine riding it with a straight face. I'd need a helmet. I'd need a full face helmet just to.
Oh, your blue bell would go perfect with that yellow.
Like such a douche. Look like a douche wearing that helmet as it is, without hitting on a 1100 horsepower bike.
11. Sorry, super quad. Get it right.
We've shut on this poor guy's project long enough.
No, I look.
I'd like to.
Anyone who can build that, well done to them. I just don't see how.
I think it's rad, but also. So now, the other most random thing that we found, and I have it in front of me because at the end of the day, we did nab one.
Oh, this is that. Hang on. Oh, no, that was on your Instagram. I can bring that up.
This is Koenigsegg Energy Drink. And it was on the Koenigsegg stand. They had the Regera and they had the concept of their new sort of 4-seater type car. This is Koenigsegg branded energy drink. And it is.
Is it
green?
What did it taste like?
Green Power Edition. It tasted awful.
Clean
Citron and Flada. I'm bastardizing that pronunciation. Apologies to anyone who speaks Swedish. Citron and Flada functions drink. Function drink.
Function drink. That means. Helps you function better.
105 milligrams of caffeine, 330 ml Cosrad drink. Anyway,
I'm disappointed it wasn't like a carbon fiber can or something like.
Yeah, but
like pre-preg carbon.
It tastes horrible. Like we opened one up just for a try, and it was awful. But yeah, I just think Koenigsegg branded energy drink, great, rock on. And it's not, the thing I like about it is I don't think it's, like a lot of manufacturers sometimes will rebrand another drink just for a promo thing or for a show or something.
Pull the can off and it's like Red Bull.
Red Bull underneath or something. I think this actually is a product that they're marketing. Like I think they've actually put their brand to this product. So,
did you Google it?
No. I just look. It even has the little Koenigsegg logo by Green Power Edition. If I hold that up, you can see the little ghost logo, which is on all of the cars. So there you go. That's whoops. Anyway, we don't need to dwell long on it, but I just thought that was quite a unique little tidbit. So
maybe it's hopefully it's not. What was Rich Energy, where it's like an energy drink brand that doesn't actually exist anywhere or anything?
Did you read the Jalopnik story about the one of the writers who actually tried to buy a can of Rich Energy? I think it's still on Amazon.
Yeah,
have a look now. You can still get it. I really should get some just to see if it exists.
Try and find it.
Yeah. No. Anyway.
Oh, so no, it's just a collaboration with a Swedish energy brand called Clean Drink.
Ah, okay.
A drink called Clean Drink that's like filled with all that stuff.
105 milligrams of caffeine.
Just have water, an espresso.
But couldn't. I don't know. I can't imagine why a supercar manufacturer. I guess.
Well, no, energy. It's like you want to do your 300k run. Well, have a shot of this, have a swig of this, and then off you go. You'll be all amped up and ready
to go.
Makes sense.
I'm sure this is a tax dodge. I'm sure there's tax.
No, it's just a branding thing. Swedish brand, brand. Off they go. I mean, that's like the Brabham collaboration with the audio brand too. Have you seen that?
No.
Speaking of the Brabham that you saw there too.
We had, after a few glasses of the champagne, we had a good chat to David Brabham, and he is awesome. The most amazing man.
Is that him in the left?
Yeah. It's him off to the left. He gave us his time. Yep. He humored us because I am sure that our knowledge, as I've already said, my knowledge is not great, and his knowledge is great. And I remember one particular comment, we were sort of talking about the day, and we made the comment about how amazing it was to see 7 McLaren F1s there, and he came straight back with, he's like, yeah, the Lark car is the most amazing one for me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's like, that was the team car when I won the championship in 96. I never drove that one, but it was the sister car in the team when I won the championship. And he's like, I did a lot of the development work on the long tails as well. I never raced them though. And we're just, okay, cool.
Okay.
But
he's a very lovely man. Like, the similar kind of experience that I had when I did the Prima Tour, the Adelaide Rally, and he was driving in that, and we stopped at Tail and Bend and just went up and started speaking to him. And again, just friendly and gave time, and super knowledgeable and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I got to say, it's so good to be at an event in the UK. And look, I've got not my doubts, I've just got my questions about Brabham and where they're going, but it was so cool to see a car that our mates have built, like on such a world stand. I think that was just it's always a special moment to see something that, is a product of Adelaide on this global scale, and looks a hell of a lot better than that quad bike. So if that was a product of Adelaide, I'd probably be, let's keep walking. But I'm proud to say that the BT62 is built by our city and people we know. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's where I was going with like the Clean Drink and Koenigsegg and stuff like that. And that kind of like, I guess, comradeship for your fellow countrymen type of thing in these types of circles. Like this is Brabham website. So what they've done is they've done a partnership with Current Audio, which is an Adelaide-based high-end audio manufacturer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was only last month, and what they do is you can order a system with liveries matching your car as well, and kind of like a bit of toing and froing as well. But yeah, like crazy high-end stuff, like
$350,000.
Yeah, ranging up to
loudspeaker and amplifier system.
Yeah,
that would sound amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, they look amazing too, but like livery matching stuff. So yeah, I think it's just the energy drinking kind of exec thing is very much one of those like, let's collaborate and get. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't a collaboration over Instagram DMs, but
no.
You want
Just do it.
you want a collab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, talking to David, just back on the Bradman.
Yeah, go.
I don't know. Obviously, he didn't tell us anything secret. In fact, we tried to ask him, but they next year are launching their road car built in Adelaide. He told us that the BT62 won't race. We did ask him about Le Mans, and he said no, it's not going to race because it's just not eligible for anything. And he said
would it be competitive in that field? Like
probably not. I mean, it'd be very competitive in a GT3 type field, definitely. Yeah. But not in the. He said they had one client who was going to race in Britcar, which is a sort of a run what you brung endurance championship over here. But they kind of COVID put an end to that. They pulled the entry, and he said it won't race. But he did say that they're on track with their road car, and that would be a fully homologated road registrable road car built in Adelaide.
And the interesting thing about them too is they're building them in left and right hand drive and whatever you want, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So that was one of the highlights of the day. It definitely was chatting to David. It was very cool. So yeah, one more thing I'd like to talk about, and you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful with this.
You could just be nice.
I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice because I can definitely see both sides of this coin, but I think I would sort of default to the other side of the coin from this chat. Our friend Rick, Sprite Photography, if he's listening, Rick and I were chatting, and we got chatting to the owner of an F40, and he was a really nice guy. He was very proud of his car.
As you would be.
As you would be.
Well, and it was in the Concours, I take?
It was in the Concours. It was the most incredibly original F40 you've ever seen. It had 2,700 kilometers on the clock from new.
Wow. You've got some pictures of that one up here, don't you?
Yeah. It was original down to just.
Is that? Hang on, I'll bring out the picture. Is that luggage I see in the front?
Yes,
the yellow bag?
Yes, it was raining at the time. So he did have the Shadoni matching luggage out, but he had put it in the car just as it was raining. He had the watch, the delivery watch that came with the car.
Did he buy it new?
No, he's the second owner.
Right.
He said he bought it off an 84-year-old gentleman that hadn't driven it for 10 years. He drove it last when he was 74, wow. Scared the shit out of him and parked it for 10 years and didn't touch it since. It had the weave that they talk about. Where you can see the Kevlar weave through the paint if it's original. It had all of the markings. He was sort of showing us around the car. It was a very lucky privilege to be shown around this F40. And he was so enthusiastic and he was so friendly. It was literally like meeting a guy with, I don't know, like a really nice 240Z or something at a Cars and Coffee. Like he was just really, really enthusiastic about it. And he opened it all up for us. And he was sort of pointing out.
Like one of those guys that has like the restoration folder of pictures in his car.
Yeah.
Like,
he was like that.
You're obsessed about it, but you love it, so that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he was pointing these bits out, and he was sort of showing us how original it was. And there were a few bits where, the classic one is, an F40's been pranked because the welds on the repairs will be better than what the factory did. So if it has good welds on the back, that it's been pranked. And this had pretty dodgy welds on the back. And little things like he flipped the fuel cap up, and inside there's the decal that says unleaded fuel only, and he said you can't replace that. So if they've been
goodness, that is Fiat 124.
That is door lock door lock pin. Yeah, the Kevlar was unmarked on the floor. It had the bits that are supposed to be black were black. It had the original windscreen. It's got the sticker on the bottom of the windscreen with the tire pressures, which if you replace the windscreen, you lose that. Yeah. It was just a preservation thing. It was an as new F40. But here's the rub. And this guy didn't drive it. He trucked it to the event. He doesn't keep it at his house. He stores it at DK Engineering, and they prepare and clean the car for him, and they bring it to the events. And he said that he hasn't really driven it. He's had two F40s before, he said, but this one, he said he said that he wanted to do the show circuits that he wanted to do with the car, and then he was maybe going to drive it. But he'd had this thing for 2.5 years, and he spent 6 years finding it. He said it took him 6 years to find an F40 that good. He'd looked at about 20 to 25 other cars and turned them down for various reasons. And I just think that I would want to have an F40 that has 40,000 kilometers on it and rock chips, and I can just go and drive it. I don't think I could own an F40 and not look at it, not have it in my garage, not go and drive it on Sundays, not, I don't know. I just don't, I don't know. I get his point. I get it.
You're coming from somewhere who you haven't owned one.
No,
he's owned two already, right?
Yeah.
So he's had two, and he obviously wasn't. He's obviously very fastidious, and went, you know what? I don't. My other cars are not presentable enough to be in the league of these other vehicles that at these events, and so he's found that and he's doing it. And I mean, obviously, if that's what he enjoys doing, then that's what he enjoys doing.
That's why I get that, and also there's the financial flip side that I think obviously he's wealthy, but I don't think it was mega wealthy, and I think it represented a large part of his potentially could have represented a large part of sort of retirement savings, and you could have the money in the bank, or you can have an F40, and an F40 is sort of probably a better investment at the moment than a superannuation fund is. So there's an argument there that you could do it for a while and not, and if you drive it, you're going to devalue it and all this sort of stuff. So
I 100% you will.
I completely get it. But also, if I had an F40, I'd be Sunday morning, 6 a.m., third gear, on boost, a little bit sideways, a little bit scared. That's
Can you
what I
imagine
want
the
that car.
temptation? Can you imagine the temptation if you had it? It'd be like, I don't want to drive it, but I'm just going to do it. Like you just go and do it, wouldn't you? Like,
it's like me stressing of doing a track day on Monday without doing an oil change in the Boxster. I'd be like, I shouldn't drive this F40. I don't want to put stone chips on it, but the weather's nice and that's what you'd want to go. And I would specifically go and buy a bit of a tatty one that's mechanically ace, that's done, like that one that DK was at the concourse, that done 110,000 Ks and you weren't too scared about it and you could actually go and use it. Like that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
Don't know. Just seems a bit of a shame to have such. And look, I know that we need people preserving these cars, and I know that some of them do need to be preserved and looked after. So I get it, and I know that there's a joy of concourse and showing, but just saying it's not for me. And I just, I feel like a car like that needs to be driven hard and often.
Did you listen to Spikes? That episode of Spikes
about the.
Like Spike was talking about Farah. I think about the whole buying low-K cars and driving them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Do you remember hearing that? So their argument was always like a low-K car is going to drive the best, and they want that new car experience of that car from that area. So what else do? You don't restore one because it won't be the same. You buy one that's low-Ks and drive the crap out
of it. Drive it. Yeah.
And the money you lose on that is what you're paying for the experience. So
yeah, exactly. And
I look at those things, like I've seen a couple of XJ220s with 800 Ks on it and stuff, and you go, just buy it, put Ks on it, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. Look, maybe it's a personality thing. I've never been a massively fastidious car owner. Like I've always been a bit of a just go and drive it. I still like to think I look after them, but I'm not.
Make Katsukitas cry.
Yeah, I know, but I don't care. I'd rather just take it for coffee and. I don't know, but that's me and that's them, so it's fine. But also,
that's also part of that thing of why would you go to Cars and Coffee every Sunday and not go drive your car anywhere else? Unless it's like something like a Cadillac or something or whatever. All these people with these cool cars that just end up rocking to Cars and Coffee and not actually going driving. It's almost a similar argument. That's obviously something that they enjoy doing, and for whatever reason, that's what they want. But
don't know. There's a lot in it. It's there's a lot tied up, and if we're really gonna, to be fair, I joke, but it would actually be interesting to speak to some sort of a psychologist about actually unpacking this and what people get out of their ownership. And for some people, it's not the driving experience, it's the friendship, it's the nerdery, it's the joy of there's a whole lot tied into this that doesn't relate to just driving the car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can argue at that point that it's it's an art piece, really. You can't do, again, same thing, devalue, destroy. You drive it more and you get a stone chip, you got to get it painted, then what happens to the originality?
Well, then it's not original anymore. And
then you lose that premium that you paid for it. And I guess that that is a very exclusive car to have a car that age, original with everything with it that hasn't been lost over time.
Yeah.
The only thing that would be better is if you had the car from brand new, really. But yes. Yeah, and it could be that maybe he's got other cars that he can do that with. And
he has other Ferraris.
Yeah.
So
this is just that other one that just sits there.
Yeah.
Man. Be too hard.
Too hard.
I am not strong-willed enough.
Like you'd almost, this is going to sound hilarious. We're talking about cars we're never going to even hope to afford, but you'd almost need two. You'd almost need like a ratty driver F40 and then your museum piece to get that. But they are these cars. Like
there's enough of them.
There's enough of them, and look, if you've got the liquid cash in the first place, you put the money in, you take the money out. Like you're not going to lose the money. You can sink $1 million into an F40, drive it for 2 years, and get your $1 million back again. Like you can do it with these cars. It's if you've got the liquid assets, the liquid cash, you can do it. But yeah, I don't know. We're talking above our station here.
Okay. let's just say you happen to stumble across Australian delivered 6.5 Mackinnon with 2,000 Ks on it.
I wouldn't buy it.
No, I know, but let's just say.
Yeah.
Similar thing. Would you want to drive that and destroy it, given what they're going for at the moment and the fact that there's an availability of cheapish ones that you can go and thrash?
I just wouldn't buy the car. I'd buy a nice but driver one.
I'd buy a 300,000 kilometer Boxster, says Andrew. 200.
I don't know. Anyway, just an interesting point of, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying he's right. It's just an interesting point of consideration, and I completely get that. I get it, but also I wouldn't have the restraint to do that. So
no, none.
Michael Busby, drive on dirt. Yeah, well, that's one way to turn a mint 2,000 kilometer 6.5 into a really unmissed one.
Speaking of Boxsters and doing track days,
yeah,
I believe you got some practice in.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I have to.
Oh man, I shouldn't have done that to you. Makes me look like a chav. Anyway, maybe I am a chav.
Hey, well, if old mate Duke of London can do it.
Nah. To my defense, the car doesn't really have a limited slip diff, so I need to sort that out.
I feel like you didn't do enough.
No, I think I'm a firm believer that if you're gonna do it, like a car park skid or even a burnout, if you're able to, I think you've got to do it well, and you've got to do it short, and then you've got to just leave. I think if you kind of
hang around. So
no
what did you do, Andrew?
I didn't do anything. Allegedly.
That's the best. As if you wouldn't do that.
It's a bit of a I will say it's a bit of a thing in the UK. Like you go to the car park of Goodwood on a wet Goodwood day, and it's bloody AMG Benzes and M3s and Caymans just left, right, and center sideways. It's good fun. It's a good thing. It's a good time.
You guys have abundance of grass and abundance of water, so
an abundance of rear-wheel drive cars.
And abundance of rear-wheel drive cars.
Thing had no traction though. Big fat wide wheels, no traction on the wet grass. Anyway,
nothing.
Whatever.
That's
Change
all
the subject.
Skids, please, George.
Anyway,
now, did Andy do the same thing? Because actually, I feel like it would have been better if you both synchronized it and videoed it. And
actually, how it happened, he did. Except I was kind of gone by that point, and And what started it was there was a guy doing actual donuts in a Cayman, like a 718 Cayman. So we were like, we can do that.
We're the same. We can
In
do
the
that.
grounds of Blenheim Palace, lowering the tone a little bit.
Can you imagine
Anyway.
the dude coming in on Monday morning, like after everyone's been through, they're the groundsman, and just being like, ugh.
Mate, it happens every year. Every year.
Every year.
Any car event, every year.
Mm.
Anyway, allegedly.
So, what was the one car for you?
That's a very good question.
Because there was a lot, like, it was just all dream car stuff, really.
It's almost an impossible question to answer at a show like that. It's
what
it's,
was the go with
the
that
stuff of your dreams? It's What do you? I mean, how do you pick? What? I don't know.
What's the criteria?
60s Ferrari, like a 250 short wheelbase, or a McLaren F1. Like they're both insane cars in their own right for different reasons. You know. I don't know. I think this is going to sound soppy, but I think just going and seeing them and walking around and like I think that's enough. You don't need to.
What was that thing by Touring that was like? Because we
skipped over that, but that is worth talking about.
Yeah, because that was crazy.
The world premiere, and that is a car that had one of the most useless functions I think I've ever seen on a new car, but at the same time, so insanely cool that I'm completely on board. So it's the Touring, it's Touring Superleggera. It is the, I'm going to have to quickly Google and find out what it's actually called.
Well, it looks like it's based on like an F12 or something, is it, or an 812?
Well, yes.
It's
based on an 812.
Yeah.
And but they did a really brilliant job. Because the only thing that gave it away was the dash.
I picked it up on the wheels just then. So the wheels were like 12 wheels.
Yep. So it's the sorry, I'm just trying to work out what it's called. But yeah, the dash gave it away. But otherwise, it was just a really nicely designed. It's got the fin, kind of the dorsal fin down the back, which kind of harks back to the D-types and a lot of the old Alphas that Touring used to build. But it's got an angle, that sticker on the back on the dorsal fin. It has an angle guard for the active aero. It's got the wing that pops up at speed, and it has a little.
Did they just do that for the event, or is that like?
I don't know. I hope it's a thing. I mean, it's completely pointless because it's computer controlled and you can't see it from the car. So, like, who cares? But also, bring it on. Like, that's rad.
Okay, it's called an Aero 3.
Aero 3 Touring. I think he said they're going to build 15 of them. And yeah, like
that kind of looks very much like early Alpha, like those early Disco Volante Alpha type things too. Like those ones. Yeah. That Touring did too.
It's that style of show car, and yeah, I mean, you're never going to see another one of them out there, and yeah, drives as well as an 812. Yeah, like bring it on. I think it's great. So,
well, I guess it's almost like I feel like that's where people should be putting their monies into, like bespoke build kind of supercars rather than manufacturer built kind of hypercars, like these kind of really unique crazy things. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I think it's the future. I think we're talking about LA 2035, no internal combustion. It's going to get harder and harder for manufacturers to homologate new hypercars, but I think you will increasingly see, I mean, the resto mod scene with the likes of Singer and Alphaholics and GTO engineering with the 250 short wheelbase, that will continue to explode.
Yeah.
And then I think also, this kind of sort of one-off, bespoke, as they did in the 20s and the 30s, the one-off bespoke builds or the short run limited production where you can be hyper niche about what you want and really express, because we've reached the point where cars are as fast as they're going to be. They handle as well as they're going to handle, give or take, but we're pretty much there. So from here on out, it becomes an expression of what you want out of a car and what you think is nice. And I think that's where we're going to head.
Because I mean, we're kind of like living in an age now where cars generally are are getting pretty decent at drive. You go drive a new Kia, you drive a new Hyundai or something, and they actually don't drive terrible, right? The
fit Golf is awesome.
yeah, and you don't the fit and finish isn't there, and the quality of the materials and things like that. But overall, they're not like, horrible. They're not terrible to drive. So,
no,
I guess the whole uniqueness of having a bespoke built car is going to be the future.
Yeah. So,
especially with electric cars, you do wonder if electric cars are kind of going to become like appliances where we'll churn through them pretty quick. Like
100%.
Whoever thought that they'd have a phone, 30 years ago, have a phone that they'd turn over every couple of years or every year.
I think you've started me on another rant, and I'll try to avoid it. But I think the greatest swindle, and I think we're going to see this in electric cars, the greatest swindle of our generation is how big business and capitalism has found a way to turn the environmental nightmare and the environment, climate change, into a commercial sales opportunity. They've convinced people that they need to buy a new car, and they've convinced people that you need to do this, and they've convinced them that you can buy your way into environmentally friendliness. And it's like, no, just stop traveling so much and stop and it's, don't buy a new car, keep the car you've got. That's the best thing you can do for the planet. And I think with electric cars, the technology is going to advance so quickly. Like, could you imagine using an iPhone 3 now, or an iPhone 4 or an iPhone 5 now? Like, you couldn't do it. And the same is going to happen with cars, that you're going to be, you lease a car, not own it. And people are going to be turning cars over every 3-4 years and making new ones. And how is that good for the planet? Like, it's not, it's worse. Buy a car, keep it for 30 years. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, even though that old Corolla that Granny's driving, that's smoky as anything, is probably better than you buying a new car every couple of years.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's, and how it just baffles me how car manufacturers can convince people that purchasing a new car is the best thing they can do for the planet.
Well, I mean, even an electric car with the impact of batteries, like that's just humongous. And I think it's, again, that corporates and having to look green and trying to meet a target, but like at the end of the day, that's just robbing Peter to pay Paul. Some other countries getting decimated just so that you don't have smog and the environment's better, but it's actually not any better off. So, because
really what's at the heart of this problem is that we all need to accept pretty radical changes in our lifestyle. We all need to accept if we're going to have a serious impact, you just need to accept that we can't drive, using a 2-ton car to move one person to work 40 kilometers and back every day, back and forth, is just a really unsustainable way of living. And we need to change our lifestyles. You need to move closer to work or work from home or change your jobs. We need to change our economies to allow people to do that. We need to, international shipping, I mean, the fact that we all consume so much stuff made in the other side of the world, like that's the problem. I mean, the fact that people take cruise holidays, I'm just as guilty as everyone else, but people take cruise holidays and people do all this sort of stuff. And it's like, if you want to help the environment, you need to change your lifestyle, not just buy a different car and think you're fine. Like, I don't know.
But I guess it's just, anyway, it's almost one of those arguments that we have that I get wrangled in with people that whinge about On the Run and the Shaheen guys here and stuff like that. They're not paying people right and they're ripping us off. And but just, if you don't like it, don't shop there.
Don't shop there. Yeah.
There's nothing forcing you to buy their goods and products. I mean, like, I'll happily go there and they build the bend and support them. Great. But, like, it's just, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to do those things.
No.
Stop. If you don't want to.
To be honest, the thing that I'm grappling with at the moment is that my love of cars and my love of driving and of motorsport and of racing and of travel and all this is all made possible by big oil companies, which are absolutely ruining the environment. And it's like, okay, yes, if I stop driving my car, it's not going to have a jot of deal, but just morally, can I keep supporting companies like Mobil and BP and this, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer, but
next minute, Andrew buys old 300D Mercedes, starts growing biodiesel.
Runs it on chip oil.
Yeah.
Grows long hair and a beard, and sports car safari turns into something completely different to what you all signed up for. So bring it on. No, I don't think we're doing that anytime soon. But I think it's good to talk about it, though. I think it's good to be aware of it, and it's good to be aware of what our passion is doing and where our money's going and what the result is. I think it's very positive.
Well, it's just about being conscious.
Exactly. So, well, cool. That's a very positive note to finish up on. Do we want
very serious note?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say after that now. Got me all thinking.
Go for a drive. Turn the music off. Enjoy. Windows down.
I'm gonna go burn some tires.
No. To be fair, that's why I can't quite get on board with drifting, because I just feel bad watching all that tire smoke just going up into the atmosphere. Anyway,
one of the reasons. Whatever. Anyway,
I'm gonna go do a track down Monday. So,
hopefully. Well, I hope you survive that. I hope that works out all right for you.
That'll be fine. It'll be fine.
You got your GoPro there, though.
Yeah, and if not, we'll have a great story to tell next week's podcast. So.
Cool. Sorry for the YouTube issues at the start. I don't know why it decided to not stream, and we'll see how long missed out. If there's anything missed out, I'll try and download it and re-upload it if that is the case. But anyway,
yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks,
I
Andrew.
guess we need to do the just to make sure that at the Sports Car Safari, Instagram, Facebook, please follow us, because it really does make a difference. Issue 4 of the magazine production is underway now, so you can still get your issue 3 through the website. Please buy a sticker or something while you're there, because that actually makes it possible and means we don't have to put our hands into our own pockets to fund stuff, which is nice. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I guess, did you want to? Oh no, we speak about Lofty.
I think we can speak about Lofty. Adelaide Rally. We can speak briefly.
Because we're doing the photography again for Adelaide Rally this year, which is cool.
We'll announce it proper, but I think if any of our listeners have got an hour and a half into our podcast, I think they are they deserve to know to hear first. So yeah.
So we are sponsoring the Mount Lofty stage on the Saturday morning of this year's Adelaide Rally, which is pretty cool. And what that'll mean is that we'll have some signage out there. We're going to do some stickers for people that we'll give out to competitors to kind of be like hey, I did Mount Lofty.
And you only get the sticker if you take the start of the stage. We'll be there like 2 cars back from the start line, stickers through the windows. It's the only way.
Or stickers on the windows, maybe. I don't know. I got to figure out the logistics of it. But it'd be cool if we could stick it on the window like a screen.
Yeah. Something. But there'll be stickers.
And we are planning on having trophies for fastest times for each of the competition classes up the hill, which will be cool. I don't know what we're going to coin it yet. If you do have a suggestion for a good idea, I think someone else has already got like a King of Wollonga or something. I was going to
say, so basically we want to call it King of the Hill, but we don't want to call it King of the Hill. So you've got a suggestion.
You can't call it the King of Mount Lofty. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to.
But there'll be lots of signage. The Spectator, I think we're working through some plans with Tim Posking, with the event organisers, but the sort of the hook right where you kind of come up Green Hill Road and hook a right into Summit Road, there'll be a lot of branding around there and a bit of a spectator point and some activity happening in some fashion there.
Yeah, we'll have some signage up, and I think we're going to shoot photos and video from that corner too. So either myself or one of our guys will be up there doing that on the day as well. The other thing we're planning on doing, which is going to be pretty sick too, and I was speaking with Ben Fitzsimmons about it the other night, actually, and he was saying we should do jump for cash. I don't know if we could.
Yes.
I don't know if we could put huh?
Yeah, 100%. Highest jump on Lofty. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
someone will put some money up for that. Someone will help us put some money up for that. We need some hefty disclaimers. If you write your car off trying to get a $150 prize.
Well, maybe we just don't do it for prize. Maybe it's just for the gram. Just do it for the grams. But yeah, jump for cash. So maybe some height signage on the side, a la kind of like gravel rally type stuff that they do. Not distance, because
not a long jump, it's a high jump.
It's a high. Well, yeah, and the other thing as well, the direction that it's running, it's quite a short run up to it anyway. So I don't think anyone can really do anything too silly.
Flash in the Volvo showed us the highest air, and he was a tour car. He was higher than the comp guys. You can do this. If you're committed enough, you can jump anything up that jump.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah.
So saying,
just
look
get
at the photos.
Good exit on the corner and
Flash in the Volvo S60.
Actually, you should post more of those again.
Yeah, you can be done.
Well, actually, Flash was talking about doing putting a big wing on his car, which would, I'm sure, hamper his efforts to get the speed up and get the aero right. If you're going to put a wing on Flash, put it the other way so you're getting lift.
Inverse it
to get lift rather than downforce.
We also don't want to be responsible for your deaths, so maybe don't. But yeah, anyway, Mount Lofty Sports Car Safari will be the title sponsor for the Mount Lofty stage, which I personally think is the best stage of the event. I love that stage. I know that Michael Busby's won it a bunch of times and loves it, and I think it's just the most amazing piece of road in the state or the country. So we're proud to
put our name to it, and also proud to support Adelaide Rally as well, because it's always, for years and years, it's been an amazing event that Tim's put on. And we've gotten photography out of it, which has been great, and it's given us the ability to do the magazine and the ability to kind of be a bit more self-sufficient with that, which is great. So being able to support back the event was a really good thing. When Tim kind of announced that he was doing stage sponsorships, I said to you straight away that, hey, we should get on this and do it, because that'd be cool. And it'd be cool to, I guess when it's your own backyard and you kind of driven those roads a million times, is pretty cool. So,
and then I'll be over here. Of course, I'm not going to be allowed to travel, so I'll be over here eagerly watching everyone's social media accounts getting all homesick and lonely and jealous. But it'll be fun. I'll enjoy it.
Hey, I wonder if we could that might work. What if we could do like a live stream of like Lofty Jump?
I'll leave that with you.
Sportscast Safari live stream from Lofty.
And on that note, thank you for joining in, everyone. We'll see you next week. Sports